the first one, which is sort of having an impact now and all over the world, is the massive drop in oil prices which we've seen in the last couple of years as a consequence of shale oil, increased shale oil production. The real positive consequence for Pakistan and for the rest of the world is low oil prices. It's a boon. Your import bill goes down, and in a situation in our country with manufacturing competitiveness going down, exports going down, so at least we don't get into a balance of payment problem. But then the bane which I feel is that with low oil prices and most of our labor working in the Middle East, in Saudi Arabia, in the UAE, in oil producing countries, there are going to be major layoffs. It's actually started in the last year or so, and Pakistan's economy is dependent on remittances which come. So while our exports have gone down, our remittance, $11 to $12 billion, have really sustained our balance of trade and our balance of payments. So if they start going down as a consequence of low oil prices over the years because of layoffs and so on, so that's going to have a major negative consequence on the country. So there's a boon and there's also a bane to the oil price. So that was one. The second thing which I thought was very interesting in the talk was the technology, the fourth industrial revolution as a consequence of major global technology shifts, and primarily as a consequence of this internet revolution, software revolution, flow of information which we're seeing completely unprecedented. Now, what he was mentioning, which was a cause of concern for countries like ours, is that is going to lead to a lot of disruption in the type of economic activity. So if you're not geared up in terms of skills acquisition and so on, and the structure of world production, trade, of even things like the government, global government changes, so that's going to have immediate, medium-term, short-term, medium-term, and also long-term impacts on jobs and the type of employment which is going to be there. So whether a country like ours is prepared to take that shock of technology shifts, whether we are prepared to have the right sort of skills to adapt to that, that's a big question. And in my view, I don't think our government or our policymakers have that particular vision to really first understand these major global shifts in technology, and then to frame a policy which will in some sense take maximum out of this and insulate from the negative shocks which might be as a consequence of this. The final point, which is also connected to the first one in terms of remittances and so on, is the change which we're seeing, the political economy of things in Europe and in North America. Politically, there's this insular movement in terms of, perhaps we're expecting global trade to also go down. The rhetoric which is coming from the US, the new establishment of sort of, in a sense, building walls, so closing borders to trade, what happened in the UK, the Brexit, and some of the political movements in Europe which are anti-immigration. So a country like ours, which depends a lot on exporting its unskilled labor and semi-skilled labor, so there are major consequences of that which need to be accounted for.